Ah,
Uh,
you are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
and I'm your other host, Jean Paul Leek.
And together we are
Rope
Rope
break.
Break, and it's Friday night, Jean Paul. So, are you ready for some
Bullshit.
bullshit? Yes, we always are ready for some bullshit. Why? Because it's Friday, and of course, Friday brings us SmackDown one more time. And well, this time not as shitty, right? Not too
Yeah.
shitty. It had a nice card. There was three main matches, and the three matches didn't disappoint as bad. They were most of them decent, I will say. Pretty good.
I thought those three high-profile matches really saved the show, and it's funny because if you would have asked me a month ago, the best thing on SmackDown was Otis and Mandy, Ziggler, that storyline. Now, I thought that part was I could honestly care less about that storyline. They somehow found a way to make me not interested in it because it doesn't seem like it has a plan. It just seems like they're let's just put them in matches. So that I really don't care about. But these, Intercontinental Championship matches really make SmackDown watchable, I think.
Oh yeah, it did, and like you said, the situation with Mandy and Otis is just gonna it's becoming stale a little bit. But why? Because Vince McMahon is behind that. So there you go, bingo, good news. You know why? So thank you so very much, family, for watching every single one of our videos. Today we had Jean Paul Wrestling's Hall bestsellers, a lot of good stuff. He got an autograph from Adam Henman Page. There was some stuff from Cactus Jack or Mick Foley, but also he got a book.
Yeah, some little children's book, but I don't plan on having
He'll
no.
save it for
So yeah,
when he has
I
kids.
say no. I wouldn't read that to my kids. I wouldn't put
I
them
would
through
he's
that.
gonna give it to Jim Cornette, so Jim Cornette can give it to Seth Rollins because they were both really best friends right now. They're really
Yep.
going at each other.
And
So thank you
I
so
heard
very
he's
much
got.
for that.
I heard he's really supportive of Becky Lynch's choice. He's
Absolutely
probably gonna be
supporting
like
on
the
that.
Godfather. He's gonna.
So Mr. Laek, let's start by of course they had a little thing on Chad. They did, of course, a tribute, of course, of all this bad situation that happened to him. But Morrison and Miz opened the show with the dirt sheet. So Morrison says that his hands are not certified Instagram influencers. So then the Miz played a clip on Otis, they're still discussing about the fact that he's one man in the bank. So they're still going without
Oh
storyline.
yeah, Money in the Bank.
So Miz said that Braun Strowman tagging with Otis made no sense because of Money in the Bank, because he has the Money in the Bank briefcase. So then Morrison said it makes no sense, Becky Lynch choosing to have a baby with Seth Rollins. So a lot of Jim Cornette's storyline right there. But pretty much Braun Strowman comes out and he's like, well, are you gonna interview me? He's like, well, you're not really booked here, so no, we don't want to. It's like, no, just ask something. So they introduce another members of the Wyatt or the Firefly and the Funhouse, which happened to be I think it was Morrison and The Miz, right? You will try to say they were his characters.
Oh yeah, they were they said that
Diaper
they
Boy.
pretty much replaced him, they replaced Braun Strowman, or Bray did, with these puppets, and they were
Yeah.
just this was all just them joking around. They made
Yes.
these two extra puppets, these two shitty puppets, you could say, because one of them was literally, I think, like a diaper or underwear, and he had shit in his mouth, he had the brown stain in his mouth, and there was one that was a sock, and
Diaper
it
Boy
was,
was that
yeah,
one of
Diaper
them,
Boy,
yes.
yeah, and so
Diaper
it
Boy.
was
And they kept farting and all of
yep.
that. So yeah, it was okay, and the other one was Mannequin Rose.
Oh
And
yeah, the Barbie doll of Mandy Rose
yes.
or whatever.
So pretty much they set up a match, very quick, and they was Braun Strowman going against The Miz. And of course we knew what was going to happen. Braun Strowman, one running power slam, and done. Right, Jean Paul?
Yeah, and this was all set up again. This whole thing is just, it's building the tension for Miz and Morrison, because they were getting in each other's face, and then Morrison was like, oh yeah, well, MCMIZ over here, blah, 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 he could kick your ass, this and that, and then Strowman's like, all right, let's go, and the Miz is he's like, what the hell, dude? And like you said, one running power slam and done, but I think this is because they don't really know what to do with Braun Strowman. They're just dragging it out till they get him and The Fiend again. And, we're going to see this lead into the Miz and Morrison breaking up.
Yeah,
Which,
exactly.
hey, they should still be the tag team champions. They should have a legit title reign. Instead, they were tag champs for what seemed like a blink of an eye, and they're already breaking them up.
Oh yeah, and pretty much they Morrison actually challenge Braun Strowman for a Universal Championship match. But the stipulation this time is like, you're not just going to go against me. You're going to go against me and The Miz, because for some reason you just can't handle handicap matches.
Yeah,
So
which I mean, I think is like lazy, dumb bullshit booking. Why do we need to see IC champ match 3-on-1 now Universal 2-on-1?
oh yeah,
Like,
no, like they don't have a credible rival against Braun Strowman. For Braun Strowman, so I was like, okay, this is garbage.
Yep.
The Backlash is going to be a really crappy pay-per-view. But what wasn't crappy is like, that was the first segment, Jean Paul. Now we go to like the first round of the IC tournament, and this time the bracket pointed out at like the returning AJ Styles to the house that he built, going against Shinsuke Nakamura. See, this one was a good match.
Yeah, this was a really good television match between these two. Lots of great spots in it. The only thing that is a shame is one of these guys had to lose.
Yes.
That's the only thing that I didn't like. It's like, oh man, I really wish it would have been like Corbin versus Nakamura and Elias versus Styles, and both of them won, and then they would have met in the semifinals.
Yeah, no, I did. That's good booking, because see, like, you giving something to Shinsuke, because for me, Shinsuke doesn't know how to win anymore. Yeah, he was IC champion, but a title that nobody cares.
Yeah, and he could, he could have redeemed himself, because he has been everybody's lackey. Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin's. If he goes against Baron Corbin in this, first round of the tournament, you can kind of turn him face to be like, because Corbin could be like, hey, remember when we worked together? And he could be like, no, blah, blah, blah. Like, maybe again, like I said, turn him face and get him a credible win. Because like you said, when's the last time we saw him win?
Oh yeah,
I can't tell you.
It's been ages.
Yeah,
it's been ages. So that's
how
bad
NXT
it is.
maybe.
Maybe
NXT, like that's how it
he
feels.
was like an NXT champion, but see, like of course, like they had to put Styles over, because Styles is the main guy out of the two. That's why Shinsuke never.
Oh yeah, and you're not gonna be your debut. Traded to SmackDown for superstars who we don't really know yet, because we didn't think of it, because we don't know how to book our show.
Yes,
but
exactly,
AJ was traded over. He's not gonna lose in his debut. But legit match. I love like at the end of it when he hit him with the Styles Clash and Nakamura kicked out. It was just like a one-armed Styles Clash, but the fact that Nakamura kicked out, I was like, okay, that's legit.
Oh, it was good. It was good. And see, in the end, though, like the phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3. Nakamura loses. Styles advances to the next round. He's going to be facing Elias. So pretty good stop on that. Now we're going to go to the other part. The good part of the show also is the champion versus champion. It was Bayley and Sasha backstage, and Bayley saying, hey, for this match, I need you to stay here. He's like, well, why? Because a lot of people are room. I'm just saying that I won't be able to beat Charlotte without you, so I'm going to do it by myself. So then they had the match, which it was another great match. I will say, like these girls, like, of course, like they're the best wrestlers that the WWE has. So of course,
yeah. I would say like, and I am a big fan of Bayley, but I think she's not as good as I would say Charlotte's better. This recently since WrestleMania, I feel like Charlotte's been on a roll. You could really make an argument that she has been the best women's wrestler, I would say, since WrestleMania. And Charlotte's not my favorite women's wrestler, but I mean, everything she's did, NXT, Raw, wrestling all these matches, all these different women. This was a great match too. And I think, her and Bayley have good chemistry. And I didn't think, the Queen was going to lose, but she did. And I can't say I'm upset with the winner though.
No, like Bayley actually pulled the upset, because they hit themselves with a lot of all the moves. The sidewalk slam or the fallaway slam. That was a really good stuff. Bayley tried to counter everything that Charlotte had to offer. Like, she almost injures the knee, Charlotte, because of like the moonsault that she did. She landed awkward because, again, she does not know how to like execute that move. But in the end, of course, Bayley pulled off the ropes. She kept holding on to the ropes, and then she beat Charlotte in a way that, like her father, would actually win matches. So that was a kind of like ironic, and it's not Alanis Morrison ironic. It's just how like they put up the match together. So cool stuff. I really like. I wasn't upset with Bayley winning, just because.
And also
Bayley
I liked
needs
it
to keep
because
being that heel.
Yeah, I liked it because it was a long match. It took up a good chunk of time, and it was, I was thinking, oh, this match is going to be like 5 minutes. I was thinking they were going to do Sasha Banks turns on her in this match, especially when it was like, oh, she's in the back. I thought, oh, she's going to run out and, screw up this match. They actually had a good contested match. Bayley still wins as a heel, so I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah, and then they were celebrating. Sasha and Bayley's like, oh yeah, I knew you were going to win it. You were going to win it. Like, You didn't think that I was going to win it. It's like, I knew that you knew that, like, everybody knew that, like, we both knew that, like, everybody else, the rest of the world knew that, like, we knew that we were going to win it. So it's like, okay, cool, yeah. So you could see, like supposedly, like, the friendship is still strong. Why they got to keep playing that? They got to keep playing that factor that at some point this is going to, like, end up with Sasha turning babyface. At least you and me know it. Also, by the way, for the Queen, our demands have been made. So thank you, NXT, because on TakeOver in your house is going to be a triple threat. It's been announced and confirmed. Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, and going against Charlotte for the NXT Championship. Also, Charlotte is everywhere. Okay, Charlotte is going to be actually in a match for the #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship on Monday Night Raw against Nia Jax and Natalya. So it seems like they don't have any other women. Like, there's no Kaden Carter. There's no Tegan Knox.
You mean there's not that woman who they just called up who was in an NXT Championship before she got called up, Bianca Belair.
So the Charlotte is everywhere,
and speaking of Flair, and then we can move on. Ric Flair signed a lifetime deal with the WWE contract. So
you couldn't wait 2 more years. No, I do not wish the Nature Boy to die. So don't even think about that, family. It's just a joke. But see the same thing the Undertaker did.
His was 15. I think he signed 15.
Yeah. So the Nature Boy, he wants to be comfortable. He deserves to be in the WWE. That's fine. You know what? Rick is done a lot for the wrestling business. Might as well get a good, big, nice paycheck from the most wealthy. There you go. The wealthiest.
And I'm happy that it was with WWE, and he wasn't like, oh, let me jump ship to AEW for 2 years. You know what I mean? It's like just stay in WWE and then just
pretty much. So, Jean-Paul, let's go to the next part of the show. Mandy Rose and Otis going against Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler. See, like you said, we were thinking about this with a lot of passion, but see, as the weeks keep going by, then we're kind of losing it. It's just because it's not interesting anymore. And like you said, the main word here is we don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest here for a second, and I'm gonna shoot. The only good wrestler in this match tonight out of the 4 of them was Dolph Ziggler. Mandy Rose is not very good. Sonya Deville's not very good. Otis, I love you, not very good. I mean, yeah, he does this, he can do suplexes. He's big. He drops the elbow, caterpillar. He's funny. But if once you actually got heavy machinery in a match, it was Tucker who did a lot of the, no pun intended, the heavy lifting. He is way more athletic. The drop kicks, everything he can do. You take him out of it, Otis can't really carry that load of I'm a good worker. And there was nothing funny about this match tonight, so that's why I think the whole segment fell flat. When Otis can be funny, the segment is a success. But in this just a wrestling match without Tucker and this and that, that's why I don't know. I just didn't enjoy this.
And especially when you give the win to the heels, at least for me, do something that at least, like you said, Otis can win and also be funny. See, like you said, you get the most out of Otis when you put him in funny situations, and this is not funny. That one, and also see, the 2 of them needed to work as a unit, and you didn't see that because in the end it was pretty much Ziggler and Otis on the outside, and then Deville hit the Shining Wizard in the back. Pretty much, if most people will call it the last shot. There you go, Adam Cole.
And I mean the match, like I said, and the match itself also wasn't very good. I think Otis got taken out pretty early in the thing, and then Mandy had to wrestle it, and it was just it wasn't good. It just, I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I know they said on commentary that's I don't know if that they were just blowing smoke or if it was real, but they're storyline real, but they were oh yeah, Tucker and Otis, they're kind of on the outs right now. He didn't even want Tucker here tonight, and I'm again, are they just trying to stir controversy? Because if they're going to split the tag team, then I'm sorry, but Otis, after the storyline is done, is dead. After he fails his cash in, it's done. Unless they do a cash in on the tag team titles, he's not winning it.
Yeah, it's they can play it so many. For example, to me, either the best thing is they go heel. If for example they become kind of a newer version of Edge and Lita. That would be really cool, but you gotta pull it off really carefully. You'll have to do a whole gimmick change for Otis. I don't know what they're gonna do, but like you said, for the now, it's not interesting. So unfortunately, it's falling flat a little bit. The peak was WrestleMania. after that. Even when he won the Money in the Bank, it hasn't been that great.
Yeah, because we could have seen the Hacker tonight. We could have seen, Tucker come out and maybe, something. But it was just, okay, the heels win. Next segment, it's like, okay.
And also we got a little bit of a promo of the Forgotten Sons. We got a promo from the Forgotten Sons. Like, again, we didn't see the tag teams, but they're forgotten. They're forgotten for a reason.
Oh, okay.
There was no tag team matches, Jean-Paul, aside that. They had no tag team matches. Nothing of importance came out.
No, because we want to split all the tag teams. Miz and Morrison, they're on the chopping block. Tucker and Otis are already split. Why don't we just take the tag team belts and just split them in half?
There's only the New Day, and then you have the Usos that, like, one of them is injured. And then, of course, you have the good performers, the good talent, but they never be able to get a win, the Lucha House Party. So when they have, hey, oh ho, and Renee O was interviewing them, hey, oh ho, they were saying that
finally a backstage person that has a personality.
Renee O, yep, and like, see, like, she was interviewing, hey, how do you guys feel about this match? Are you guys excited? And it's like, hey, we got a Universal Championship match out of this, so of course they're happy. If they will win the title, they will give them the title to both of them. I wouldn't be upset. Because either Braun Strowman doesn't even, generate any intensity for me, any expectation for me, nothing. So I'm fine with that.
And like, I mean, I find it funny because I don't care about Braun Strowman at all. But look at Drew McIntyre on Raw. He's got all the T-shirts. Vince McMahon is praising him and all this other stuff. And then Braun Strowman's like, so I'm the other champ. I don't even have a new T-shirt.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's like he's a joke.
You don't have to be. You can't be dumb about these things.
Because they probably had all this merchandise and shit made for Roman Reigns, and then he was like, "Yeah, see," and they're like, "Shit, now what do we do with all this?" So they probably burned it or sent it to Africa, and then it was like, "Oh, now what do you do with this?" Like Braun Strowman. So he's just a joke.
You said, like, a lot of reports are claiming now that, like, the new toy is gonna be Drew McIntyre. He's gonna be portrayed as the new Roman. Yeah, which is cool. I'm not against it. Finally, somebody that at least I'm behind.
No, because at least Drew is charismatic.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like if they tell Drew to go out there and say this cringy bullshit, he'll be able to twist it and turn it. So we're like, oh, okay, we know what he was given, but he's delivering it in a way that us fans appreciate it. And Roman is like, this is my yard now.
And that is the main difference between McIntyre and Roman, and that's the one big reason that nobody get behind Roman. And nobody was able to get behind Roman because he did not have a personality. While McIntyre exceeds for personality. And see, that's why every time, like, we mentioned this Monday Night Raw review, we said, hey, he comes out, what's up, Charlie? The only wrestler that actually acknowledges the interview.
Yeah, and speaking of interviewers, back to this, I love how, when they are singing their song, they're like, hey. And then they put the microphone at Renee, and she's like, ho, ho. And they're like, Miz and Morrison. And then she just walks off. Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's the personality. She's like, I'm not dealing. Like, this is
and then
so
he's like, where's she at? Or
they're like, where is she? As they're like dancing.
Yeah. So now, Jean-Paul, main event. Pretty quick show. We're going to, like, plain simple, no, pretty concise. Jeff Hardy against Sheamus. Good match. Was I expecting this? I would much rather see this in a pay-per-view, not in the book, in the way that they booked this. And especially the way that, like, Jeff Hardy got the win. I didn't really like that. Because, again, he won it with a roll-up. But walk me through it. Like, did you like this match?
I mean, again, like you said, you could have really built this whole tournament around this feud. You could have had Sheamus on the one side, Jeff Hardy on the other. You really could have booked it. You could have had Nakamura and Sheamus come down in the finals on the other side. It could still be Daniel Bryan and Jeff Hardy on the other. That'd be a really cool match. Save AJ. And then AJ can feud against Jeff Hardy when he wins the title. Then that can be the feud. Boom, start that off. Because I think Jeff Hardy should have legit wins once he wins the belt, and who better to win against than AJ Styles. So I really think, I agree with you, this should have been the end. I don't know if the final is going to be at Backlash. I hope it is. That's where they have the final match. I hope they save it for then. But, I mean, it was good. I think the right winner won. Jeff Hardy definitely need to win. You couldn't have Sheamus win. Why the hell would you do all these video packages and these beautiful promos for Jeff Hardy? This is his last, run, this and that. You're not going to have him lose, and then it's like, so I'm going to go join Matt now. No, you're not going to do nothing like that. But I guess I would have – I'm never a fan of roll-ups. I know sometimes they're needed. You're not going to have Sheamus get pinned for 1, 2, 3 and look kind of weak. But, I mean, maybe Sheamus screws him next week. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens.
But
I was
overall,
right.
though, I thought it was a good match because Sheamus did look dominant, and I feel like in a legit, when you're watching it to be legit, Sheamus should be the more dominant of the two in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a good match. It was a good match, but like I said, maybe I didn't like how the match ended, but that's just me. You didn't like that either. So, well, in the end, Jeff Hardy's going to be facing Daniel Bryan next week, and we're going to
Mm-hmm.
have the other bracket is AJ Styles against Elias. So then out of the two semifinals, we'll get final probably having to be contested at Backlash. If anything, I will just do that. So
And I could honestly, if I could honestly see that feud that I said earlier of AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, I could honestly see that happening, but flip it, where
yeah,
AJ's the champion going against Hardy, because I could see Sheamus totally screwing him. Daniel Bryan wins. You revisit Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles again, because I think the last time they met was when AJ took the belt from him. I might be wrong, but I think that's the last time they met.
yeah, no,
And
that's what it
then
was.
so then you get a rematch. AJ wins the IC belt, but also on Backlash, you could have a grudge match, maybe even last man standing, some kind of crazy match with Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. Jeff Hardy wins, and then he goes and eventually challenges AJ. I think
Yeah,
that would
yeah,
be cool as
that's
well. If
That's good booking right there. I wouldn't do Last Man Standing because just that's what
Oh
they
yeah,
just
yeah, but I
did.
just mean some kind of gimmick
But
because
like change the stipulation. Give
because
me a different
we've
stipulation.
seen normal matches between them, maybe just even extreme rules, ladders, chairs, tables, whatever.
Yeah, just change the stipulation. Make it something different so people can actually get behind the feud. But I can definitely see that coming. So Jean Paul, overall, watchable for what it was. See,
Mhm.
simple, concise, like you
Yeah,
said.
again, if you get up to make food or go take a dump, during the Mandy Rose thing or the opening segment, and you just watch the three big matches, pretty decent show. There's not much to complain about, really not anything to complain about.
Yep,
But then you
very
watch
similar.
the other segments, and it's like, man, like this is what I did from 8 to 10 on Friday.
Yep,
But
pretty much. But that's what we did it for every single one of you. So this wraps it up for every single one of you, family. And don't forget, tomorrow we have a lot of content. We're going to be big coverage on Double or Nothing. We're going to have a surprise before that. So don't forget to catch that. Don't forget to watch this also. Don't forget to watch Wrestling Hall with John Paul. Beautiful bestsellers. So, all the best content over here all the time on
yep.
Bro Break.
And if you want to know when to find this content, when it's all released, you can click subscribe here on YouTube of the original Rope Break. Click the bell too, so then you get notified immediately. Or, we post the links also right when the video gets uploaded on our Facebook, which is the original Rope Break. On Twitter, the OG Rope Break, and Instagram, we post the links and little clips too. If you just want a teaser, am I going to like this? Of course you will, but you want to verify, watch the little 30-second clip. Okay, legit. Click the link and you're good to go.
Pretty much. So I don't have to say anything else. So there's only one thing, right, Jean Paul? That you and me have to finish this great video by saying,
Uh,
uh,